Japanese, commence operation. A voice declared, the tone sharp and decisive. Initiate interference wave. Transmission interference wave. Initiate activated. The speaker's words were crisp and efficient, each order executed with precision. A different voice, laced with a touch of confidence, added, with this, the ants should not be able to receive the Queen's call for help. Yo, Kumamoto, get her, came a directive, a mixture of command and anticipation in the tone. You better get used to this, or you're gonna get impacted. The scene shifted to another group. Team Bravo, at this rate, we might clear out all the ants even before the Korean team get around to dealing with the Queen. A sense of playful competition filled the air. Playing hide and seek, possibly? Where did Kinjo go off to? I think he's adjusting the flight of the winged ants. The focus shifted once again. Team Charlie, goofing off like that, and he's not even a kid. Team Delta, there's some fireworks going off at the end of the cave. Must be that guy, Choi Jong-in, or something. A moment of consideration followed. Against my senses and his flames, I wonder what would happen if we had a contest of ability. Cold and then hot. I guess what else? So this is Buckrock, Dan, a voice said, its tone contemplative. I heard it was famous for its beauty. Now it's all transformed. Right now, it's just an ant hole and nothing else. Ordinarily, this would act as a flame prison that keeps your foes in. However, it now serves as a barrier that should prevent any ants below B rank from coming through. Let us proceed with our search for the cave entrance. A sudden jolt of apprehension filled the air. That was intense. The way in is a labyrinth. If we head in haphazardly, we'll end up coming back out the way we went in, similar to how my fireballs are, bouncing off. Which I think is that way. Then I suppose the correct path is the way we don't hear the sounds of explosions coming back. As expected of Choi Jong-in, he boosts your confidence just by being in the team. Let us venture forth. A status update was issued. Distance run so far, 10 kilometers. You have completed the 10-kilometer run. Strength, 219. Health, 200. Agility, 230. Intelligence, 250. Awareness, 200. AP, 0. Physical damage resistance, 46%. This neighborhood has always been pretty quiet, but there's absolutely no one out and about today. Perhaps the Jeju Island raid broadcast has started. The S-rank hunters from Korea and Japan. Hunters possessing power beyond a shadow of doubt. What use would it be for me to watch that? Even without me, with those powers, a raid against the ants, I'm sure the Jeju Island raid will succeed unless something truly unexpected happens. The scene shifted to the interior of the cave. With the exception of a couple of them, they are pretty much as we have anticipated. Haven't seen these guys before. Perhaps they are the Queen's bodyguards? They seem pretty weak for that, though their eyes have changed. That should make it more straightforward for us. I think it's an adaptation for working in the darkened interior of the cave. If these guys aren't the bodyguards, we should have an easy time managing them. You really think the Queen is here? They are here, hence so I doubt it. You know how it can be, the Queen abandoning and fleeing. Plus, this is an island. There's nowhere for them to go. I wonder if the feed is watchable, given how dark it is here. I guess the HQ would adjust that if needed. That's the hatchery. For the hatchery to be here, that must mean the Queen's chambers are nearby. Those ants must have been guarding the hatchery after all. I'll send them all up in flames. Hold on a second. There's a single, unhatched egg that's much larger than the rest of them. No way. Could it be that this isn't an egg? Just what crawled out of this thing? The speaker paused, then added, a bodyguard? But then all we have to do is to approach the Queen. Everything else is superfluous. I understand Min Byung-goo's reaction, over the top as it may be. How strange. Kinjo, look at you, man. Well, it was a little bit more intense than I had first anticipated. They came at me in formations, using some semblance of orders. I think I got about 30, but the attack got me in my shoulder and side. Want to heal it? It'll cost ya. Shimizu, stop being a pain and apply the healing already. But I want this one thing. You know, not money this time though. What then? You make more money than me anyway. You sure got a taste for money. Not good for a little kid like you. You know, don't waste time. We got more ants flying in. Tell me quickly, what do you want? A moment of anticipation was replaced by a change of focus. It's close. Be careful, a voice whispered. Ugh. The tension rose, the narrative poised on the edge of a new, more dangerous phase. Her. So, these guys are the Queen's personal bodyguards, a voice stated, its tone assessing and analytical. Each one is at least S rank. However, a monster is a monster. Their movements are simple and predictable, unlike hunters who utilize various tactics. The action commenced, the hunters engaging their powerful opponents. These ants are quite durable, more than I would have thought possible. The bodyguards are different from the normal ants, but it's fortunate there aren't as many of them. The assessment was clinical and focused. Please do not concern yourselves, a voice declared, a hint of pride in its tone. I'll provide support from the rear. At least you're not acting hesitant. You and him shouldn't be moving like new recruits either. The focus shifted to the ongoing engagement. You didn't forget, did you? These guys, they can operate for a while, even after getting their heads impacted. Ah yeah, sure. I'd rather you finish them cleanly so they can't be a problem to us anymore. The speaker's voice was laced with a touch of impatience. We haven't even reached the Queen's chambers, but we've already encountered the bodyguards, a voice noted, the tone thoughtful. On top of that, they are the third Jin we dealt with before. I'm only speculating, but I think the first Jin ants have been completely supplanted by the bodyguards from here. We might be in the thick of the second Jin guard ants. A moment of contemplation followed, then, in that case, we better properly prepare ourselves. A surge of power filled the air. My body is boiling over with power. This is well beyond the conventional buff. I feel like I could handle a whole army. How about we each take on 10 at a time? A different perspective was offered. I'm rated A rank in combat power. At least I'll take on 1 or 2. If you want to leave a couple for me. You think I'm crazy enough to rely on a healer for combat? You are contributing enough with buffs, so just enjoy the show from the rear. The scene shifted. We're being sent to check up on Team Charlie since they fell out of contact. What the hell are they up to anyway? Hey, slow down, about here. I guess signs of combat. I don't think they'd have any trouble with the ants. Where the hell did they go? The speaker's tone was laced with confusion. A disturbing discovery was made. Fujishima's glasses, a new layer of unease, entered the narrative. It can't be, no, impossible, a voice whispered, filled with disbelief. Look, Kay, what's wrong? What the hell is this? Stench? This unbearable odor. I've never experienced this before. The narrative shifted back to the primary group. Damn it, we've engaged too long. No, I think we've done rather well. Finishing this number of ants in less than 5 minutes. Amazing. Yuntae, you literally gave us wings even in that short amount of time. I think she handled more than twice the amount that I have, so far. We've spent 15 minutes. We'll probably be faster on our way back. So, estimating with some room, I'd say we've got about 30 minutes. The real important part is how we conclude this. This odor, and no, I think it's the Queen. And she's with the bodyguards, it seems. Ask out and confirm. The instructions were precise. That's the Queen. The Queen's to the rear. 8 bodyguards in front. The bodyguards are all at about S-rank level, but with the strength of this party, they can handle them and give me some time to engage the Queen. Hunter Cha, I've got the Queen. Can you take care of the bodyguards? A reply came quickly. Leave them to me. I've always practiced moderation, but at least for today, I feel it'd be a waste to not utilize my full power. I'll cover your rear. Don't worry. No need to save my strength. It doesn't matter how. I might appear if I can neutralize all of these bugs. A final observation was made. That's Hunter Beck, a magical beast transformation. Active. The stage was set for a decisive confrontation. The narrative poised on the brink of a perilous battle. Hunter Cha, I'm counting on you. The voice crackled through the comms, heavy with expectation. Tension hung thick in the air, the weight of the mission pressing down on everyone. A concussive taunt echoed in the chamber, a challenge hurled by the monstrous insects surrounding them. They are lining up for her, a strained voice reported. The Queen Ant, the target, was surrounded by a phalanx of armored protectors. Until the bodyguards are down, I'll keep the queen occupied. The words were calm, but the undercurrent of danger was undeniable. A voice, low and confident, replied, "I'll be your huckleberry." A classic line, a movie moment in the face of dire straits. A beat of silence, then, let it begin. The operation was underway. The view screens flickered, displaying a massive live feed. "We've got over 80% viewership right now," a voice announced, a mix of urgency and professional detachment evident. "Get closer for a better view." The operators were focused, desperate for every detail. Over 80% viewership, if we could just get a little more. The stakes were astronomical. "There is an S-ranked beast in here," a grim voice stated, the implication terrifying. The camera shifted, revealing the scale of the threat. "You know, no one else is responsible for your life, but you, right?" A question hung in the air, a reminder of individual responsibility within this chaotic fray. "If you understand, stay behind me." The group's leader set a clear boundary, ensuring some level of protection. "This is where it really starts," another voice whispered, a chill running down its spine. It must be a complete lie that a healer is weak in combat. On the screens, someone who was not a frontline fighter fought with surprising skill. "He's doing better at it than I would, even though I'm in A rank," a hunter muttered, shock lacing their tone. "Do you plan to watch that hunter show coming on today?" A voice cut through the room, light and unaffected. "Not interested." A dismissive answer. "Don't be like that. The TV said earlier that we can finally overcome those creatures this time. Hope was the only weapon some had." "That's what they always say," came the jaded reply. "Not interested. They are doing it to avenge our only son, you know," the voice pleaded, thick with grief. "I know, this tears at our hearts, but we have to watch." A different kind of tension permeated the broadcast, personal pain. "Our proud and courageous hunters of the Great Republic of Korea have taken the first step in the Queen Ant raid." The words came from the commentators, trying to imbue hope. Here we are, in the inner sanctum of the Queen Ant. The camera zoomed in on a monster, its insectal form unlike anything ever encountered. "Madam UK is managing well, but looks like the other hunters must eliminate the bodyguards fast." The bodyguards fell, one by one, and a collective breath caught. "Oh my goodness, people are losing their minds." The mood was euphoric. "We now have 3 left. 2 more, and we can take down the Queen." The narrative was picking up speed. "And we are on the cusp of successfully completing this raid. The formidable bodyguards have all been defeated." The commentators went wild. "You gotta get it done by the 4th time," a commentator shouted, adding that it's only proper. "All that's left now is the Queen. Overcome the Queen, and the ants will be defeated." Hope surged through the watchers. It was coming to an end. "Director, we have exceeded 85% viewership with this week," a voice announced. "The Great Republic of Korea have but moments to go before we join the illustrious group of the United States, China, Russia, and France as another country that has cleared an S-rank gate." A sudden, heart-stopping shift. "Push everyone. Kiak, do not falter." The air hung heavy. A queen without her bodyguards is just an empty husk. The battle seemed to be won. But then, a voice, filled with disbelief. "If you're gonna target anyone, you should have targeted me." The tide was turning. "I'm not gonna let you get to our healer that easily." The tension was palpable as a hunter made a stand. "Everyone, back up." The screen flickered as the hunters fell back. The commentator spoke. "The Queen is done. I could tell from my long years of experience." But a shiver ran through them all. "The Queen's near gone already. Victory seemed within our grasp." Then came the shift. "What's this? The last roar?" A chilling realization set in. This feels different. She's calling for something, the ants. The threat was not over. The ants are heading back to the nest. The interference wave is no longer having an effect. The situation was spiraling. What is going on over there? Is it over? Did we just become the 7th team to clear an S-ranked gate? A brief glimmer of hope. "No, wait. I'm detecting something in the air. The ants are heading back this way." Panic crept in. "We have to get out now. You're telling me that the Japanese hunters couldn't keep them back?" The news was dreadful. "What? We should still have time." The team was scrambling. "I don't have all the facts. The association is looking into it. The fire barrier I had placed around the nest has been breached." A collective dread settled on the observers. "You mean impossible?" The chilling reveal. This power is from a single beast. The world watched as terror unfolded once again. "This about?" The voice trailed off, the question hanging in the tense air. The speaker was referring to something unseen, a looming threat that dominated their thoughts. Then came the explanation. It's because of my protective skill, called camouflage. A strategic advantage, carefully deployed. It allows me to lay low and hide my presence completely. This ability came at a price, although, in order for the skill to be effective, I'm not able to move, but for a healer, it's a fine trade-off. The speaker, a healer, accepted the vulnerability in exchange for their safety. That sinister strength came from that one, someone remarked, indicating a specific, powerful foe. The mention of strength sent a shiver through everyone. And just now, they continued. The thing that suddenly appeared before their eyes. A chilling detail, SFX step. It was an entity that could strike fear with just the sound of its footsteps. The phrase hung there, conjuring a sense of dread. SFX step, they repeated, the name a mantra of terror. We don't have time to be standing around like this. The urgency in the voice was palpable. We need to hurry and confront that thing first. A sense of immediate, impending danger was building. SFX step, step. The ominous sound echoed, a heavy rhythm that marked the unseen creature's approach. It just walked right past us, someone whispered, a mix of relief and terror coloring their tone. It was as though they had been ignored, overlooked. However, it still caused discomfort amongst the group. A beat passed and then, a resolute declaration, Hunter CHA. The hunter was preparing for something. Then the sound of blades cutting through the air, SFX slash. If I'm at this distance, I won't be able to miss my shot. The hunter was focused, confident. I'd even stop that, they added, the words implying a challenge. The focus was not on an attack, but on containment. Even if you rip my hands off, came another determined voice. This person wasn't backing down. As long as I have Hunter Minute by MGU, it won't be an issue. Their resolve was strengthened by their ally. It's because of my protective skill called camouflage, the first speaker reiterated, a reminder of their strategy. It allows me to lay low and hide my presence completely. The healer was emphasizing their method again. Although, in order for the skill to be effective, I'm not able to move, but for a healer, it's a fine trade-off. Even if you want to eliminate me, you don't know my whereabouts. They were speaking with conviction. As long as my team has my heals, they won't be easily defeated. Their strength lay in their support role. The tension rose as the action continued. My camouflage skill is active, the healer stated, reassuring everyone. So, it shouldn't know where I am. Unless, a beat of silence, then, by MGU. The last words carried a weight of uncertainty. What did they mean? Was this a sign of something going terribly wrong? The narrative paused on this cliffhanger, leaving the listener with a sense of foreboding. The threat was real, and it was closing in. It was not a matter of if, but when, the group would have to face this looming threat. Minute Young Gu, a voice called out, a hint of urgency in its tone. Then, another name, Young Run, spoken with a similar sense of concern. The scene was set, the names marking the presence of individuals caught in a dangerous situation. The same voice called again, Young Run. The concern turning to panic. Run, you. The rest of the words were a desperate cry before the speaker was cut off. The monster has absorbed him through the body. The words were spoken with shock, a horrific revelation. You are weak. We have lost our queen. Accusations were thrown as they tried to figure out the best course of action. The life of your lowly conscript doesn't balance the equation. The words were cold, calculating. Then, a question that cut through the chaos. Who is your king? A beat of silence, then, a voice declared, outside. He is outside, a strong presence. Someone else coughed, puke, cough, outside. Then, came the frantic concern. Did go Ruji? This is not the time. We must escape this place before he returns. The desperation was palpable, a race against time. God damn it. The ants. The frustration and helplessness of the situation was being felt. This is strange, another voice spoke, confusion lacing the words. Neither Team Charlie or Team Delta is responding. Perhaps this is related to the interference wave issue. They are certainly within the transmission distance. A technical explanation, but the implication was terrifying. Communication had failed, and teams were lost. Team Bravo, check in. Bravo checking in. The responses were inconsistent. No, I can only contact Team Alpha. You can't contact Team Charlie or Team Delta either? They were questioning the situation. Should we go check it out? The idea was considered. Weighing the pros and cons, we are headed that way. You finish up there and move to the extraction point. Orders were given. The mission was continuing, despite the issues. Understood. Got something else? More complications, more problems. BP, go to it. It's me? Yes. A new conversation cut through, revealing a different angle to the situation. Chairman Matsumoto, off the coast of China. They sure got a big thing brewing in Korea. The scope of the events was far-reaching, affecting more than just their team. Be that as it may, I doubt the ants can fly all the way over to China. A dismissive tone, a need to stay focused on the immediate threat. HMP, but seeing how invested Japan is in all this, Go-to Ryujin must be desperate to be a national-class hunter. A veiled jab, the underlying tensions of the geopolitical situation coming through. All the national-class hunters have cleared an S-ranked gate. As accomplished as Go-to Ryuji is, he has never cleared an S-ranked gate. The observation was pointed, highlighting a gap in their rival's reputation. I don't quite understand. I wonder, though. It's nothing, but from what I can see, this seems too much of a convenient excuse. A sense of doubt started to arise. Whatever, Go-to Ryuji is nowhere close to that goal. The disbelief was spreading. You think so? Well, if you had taken but one look at Ryu's Kong, you'd know too. A rival was mentioned with high praise. Captain Ryu's Kong surely made a fan out of you. A light chuckle, you could say that. The moment was a brief moment of levity. At any rate, I think this raid is sure to come back to bite someone in the ass. The radio crackled to life. Go-to. Respond? Urgency crept into the tone. Is there a problem? We have fatalities. The word hit hard, a confirmation of the worst fears. What a needless loss. I thought we elected to the strategy to avoid that possibility? The shock was palpable. You are correct, they were weak. It's nothing to be concerned about. Strict is always a win as long as we have you. No real loss for having a couple of them die off. The speaker's coldness was a sharp contrast to the previous grief. Yes, the Korean team is facing the Queen right now. The update was grim. Yes, they are, but following the satellite malfunction, it looks like the ants have swarmed back to the Queen. The situation had evolved again. It's something new to think about, but so far, hasn't seemed to have caused any big issues. The situation was being downplayed, but the tension was still present. Your assessment on the Korean team's chance to return alive? From what I've seen of our competition, with the sum power of the hunters participating, it would be 0%. It was a blunt declaration, crushing any hope of rescue. We, the team of Japan, have done everything we could. But with Team Korea's annihilation, we must regretfully retreat. Go-to's national class challenge unfortunately falls short. The words were carefully constructed. The perfect headline, but the ultimate goal, total elimination of Korea's S-rank hunters, is a success. Everyone, pull back. An order, sharp and clear. Understood. We are pulling back. Yes, we'll recover the bodies at a later date. The retreat was organized, calculated, but felt rushed. Then a warning, Ishida, this is no ordinary. A new threat was presenting itself, and I'll take over from here. Minoru, you join up with Team Bravo right now, but with enemies this strong, you'll just get in the way, and to what a sharp presence. A mysterious figure was emerging. Are you the king? The question, the answer, a monster, and no less is talking a king. Yes, I am the king. Kiki. The declaration was defiant, full of confidence. What's this magical power? A new factor was introduced. This power. I have felt this before. When was it? A feeling of recognition, tinged with worry. Then, President Choi, can you turn up the heat? The request, desperate. If I did, we'll use up what little oxygen we have left. Everyone has received critical injuries. The group was weakened, their resources dwindling. BMGU did what little he could, but no way any of us is anywhere near normal. At least, Choi Zongin has enough for this last gamble with his flames. Hope rested on one final act. This is as far as we can go, a defeated final stand. Then, a chilling question. What is this, Black Warrior? The unknown approached.